Uh,
All right. All right. We're now recording here with head baseball coach Brian O'Connor. Coach, how are you doing?
well, I'm doing well, Matt. Just obviously these are challenging times for all of us, right? And so where we're at with our program, Matt, is we're game planning. We're putting our plan together for a safe return to school for our veteran players and getting them back. And then we have 11 incoming first years into the program. So just working on the plan for them returning to school and, us practicing and developing our team this fall. So, as you know, we're all in completely uncharted waters, and so just trying to figure out what's working, what doesn't work, and how we navigate this pandemic to try to still have a successful baseball program.
Well, how's your family? Everybody good?
Yeah, we're great, thanks. We've got all three of the kids at home, and so it's there's been some real bright spots to this process as well, and this pandemic is as bright as it can be. But just as far as the getting to spend time with your family, and we've been eating family dinner pretty much every night and enjoying that and getting to spend a lot of time together.
Now, any guilty pleasures from the pandemic? Have you any shows you binge watched, anything like that? Learn to do anything different? New skills?
Yeah, I haven't gotten into too much. I would say there's one that my wife and I enjoy watching, and that's Yellowstone. It's coming out every Sunday night. We watched the first 2 seasons of it, and other than that, not too much from the television standpoint. Again, we've had a chance to spend a lot of time outside. We've went on hikes. We tried to do some safe, fun things as a family that we can do, and just try to spend as much time together as possible.
I've found out about myself that I really like to cook. I had no idea. Like, never done it before in my life, and it's kind of been a challenge, and learn to do some new things and bring some new meals into the rotation here.
Yeah, I got to admit, I haven't done too much of that other than the grilling, but my kids have all gotten into it, and so there's, it's been fun, and we've had each of our kids, fix some meals for us for family dinner and things. So it's been enjoyable. They've learned some new things.
I did, as an April Fool's joke, I put a PlayStation 4 in my mom's Amazon cart, and she actually bought it, and so she sent that. So I've been playing a little MLB The Show and NBA 2K, so I've gotten pretty good at those.
Good. Well, hey, you got that skill working for you.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
None of those video games. I just haven't ever gotten into them personally, But I see that they're even putting that stuff on television, right? People playing the game, so pretty cool.
All right, well, let's do what we brought you here to do. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to talk through some photos and some moments here, and hopefully have some fun.
Great, I look forward to it.
Now, I always use my photos, but I saw this one as I was searching, and I had to throw the early years Brian O'Connor up on the screen here. What do you remember about those early days?
Jeez, wow! Look at that. There's a lot of memories of that picture. That's in the dugout our first year. It's in the fall, I believe, in fall practice, and that's just shortly after we put our staff together, and our first volunteer at the time was James Molinari. James played at East Carolina for Coach Mack, and he joined our staff in our first year, and obviously Coach Kuhn and Coach Mack. So we were early on in those days, Matt. We were trying to we were spending a lot of time together, a lot of late nights in the office recruiting. We all actually lived together in a 2-bedroom apartment. The 4 of us did. We lived together for about 2 months, which was quite interesting. It was down on 5th Street, right next to the Food Lion, and we all stayed together. And it turned out to be a blessing, Matt, in that we were able to spend basically every waking minute together, whether we were living together there or in the office or out in the field, for us to, just figure out how to handle the players, recruiting and everything. You think about that compared to today, you couldn't do that, with the way we're in COVID right now. So, I was 34 at the time, and actually 32. I'm sorry, 32 years old, and didn't have all those gray hairs that I have now. So,
so I'll throw this up there. You talked about the staff, and just not just the assistant coaches, but the guys that you've been with a long time, Chris Moore and BMAC and Ed. Just talk a little bit about kind of that bond you guys have.
Well, that's a very, very special group there. Obviously, a lot of hours put in, a lot of dedication every day to have that moment, right? And so certainly it's special to stand and pose in that photo with that trophy with all those guys that have spent endless hours in this journey to accomplish, a championship. And you're right, Coach Ed's been with us pretty much the entire time. Chris Moore has been with us a long time. B. Mac's been with us the whole time. Also Coach Kirby's been with us now for 9 years. And in that
That's
picture,
hard to believe.
Yeah, it's amazing. Mike Roberts, who was our first video and scouting coordinator, he's in that picture. And Kevin Orico is right in the back behind Coach K's and I there. He was our student assistant and, as you know, a great closer in the history of our program. And Robbie Swab there was our operations guy at that time. So certainly a magical moment in our history of our program, and just the relationships that we've been able to forge with that group of guys is really, really special. And the continuity, Matt, I'm a big believer in keeping your staff together as long as you have quality people for a long time. And certainly we've had that.
Now I had to throw one of these in there because I know you absolutely love when we have to do these Pepsi and promotions.
Yeah, you had to do that, huh?
I just had to throw one in there.
Those staged photos where you're holding something and smiling and everything staged. I certainly have a tough time with those, but obviously we couldn't do it without our sponsors, and obviously Pepsi's a big one. Oh yeah, there you go.
Beautiful, right there.
Oh, that looks good. Yeah, a lot of more gray hair there than that first picture you started off with, but certainly proud to bring that thing back home to Charlottesville, Matt. Right?
Exactly.
To bring a national championship home in any sport, in the sport of baseball, we're really, really proud of that.
All right, now I ran across this photo right here, like the old Sears portrait studio here at the.
Oh, look at that.
How about that?
Yeah.
Shot?
So that would look much differently these days, as we were talking about before. My oldest there, Ellie, she's a rising junior at High Point University. Maggie, our second daughter, is a incoming first year here at Virginia. She's going to be in the engineering school. Awesome. And then Dylan is 13 going into 8th grade. So, certainly we were a young family when we came here, even much younger than that. Dylan wasn't born. It was just the two young girls. But, certainly brings back some memories. This is, what that says to me, Matt, is that says home. Charlottesville's home for us, right? We've been here for 17 years. It's really all my children know. So we're very, very fortunate.
Yeah, it is. I can't believe this will be my 15th year here. I mean, don't want to leave, right? It's an amazing place.
Sure is. Yeah, we're all really, really fortunate.
All right, let's see here. I got some. Let's just talk the dish.
Oh,
one of my favorite shots.
Jeez, look at that sky. The stadium doesn't even look real in that shot.
I was driving home from I left JPJ, driving home from work, and I was like, oh my goodness. So I pulled up there, and that's an iPhone photo actually, because I just had to capture that sky. Yeah.
So Matt, because you've been here for most of it, being here 15 years, just the real transformation of this stadium, where it's evolved over, the original stadium was built 19 years ago, and just the evolution over those 19 years to bring us to where we're at right now is, and putting $20 million into it 2 years ago, and the upgrades that were made for our fans and player development. And this is it's a great ballpark. It's perfect for us, just seating just over 5,000 people, and so many chairback seats, and so many different ways that fans can capture the game, standing in different concourses and things. And the player amenities for player development are really rare that we have here, and very, very special. So it's, really it's twofold. One, for the fans, a great place to watch a game and cheer on the Cavaliers, but secondly, for player development, it's state of the art and really outstanding for the players.
Talk a little bit more about that fan support, and just, I mean, when that place is rocking, it's awesome. This is one of my favorite shots here. Just the fisheye lens, and I think this is from maybe one of the Oklahoma games. I don't remember exactly who were playing there, but
yeah, probably, yeah, because it's later, because we had the higher bleachers and where the video board is and things. So, Matt, I mean, our fan support is tremendous. To think about before a season starts, that every chairback seat that we have for sale for a season ticket holder is sold. And, as the season moves along, and some of the great years that we've had here, hosting regionals and super regionals, the fact that all of those sell out and we fill every seat in the stadium, there's just a lot of really, really passionate fans about our baseball program. Certainly when it gets to championship time and you're hosting regionals and super regionals, it's easy, to fill a place because of the excitement and the kind of team that you have. But, really what makes our crowd is the everyday fan that comes to all the games, the people in the community that just really love and support our players. And it's a real electric atmosphere, really. It's a great place to play. The seats are kind of right on the field. It's a intimate environment. And so we're really, really fortunate. We wouldn't be where we're at today, Matt, this, and we wouldn't be where we're at today without our fans. They make the experience for our players really, really special.
Now, I know there's been a ton of great moments, but I don't know if there's any better than the Chris Taylor hit to send you guys to Omaha. This is one of my favorite shots. Just the catcher getting plowed over by the guys here. Just do you have a favorite memory or any that stand out?
That certainly is one that's really, really special and iconic in our program. It's easy to say the national championship, right? Why wouldn't that be a great moment? But this was a real defining moment in the history of our program, because, as you recall, this takes our second trip to Omaha. We went in 2009. In 2010, we had the number one team in the country and didn't make it there. And this year in 2011 was kind of a repeat, where we were in a very similar situation as 2010, and kind of our backs against the wall against UC Irvine. And, I won't forget this moment, because it sends us there to Omaha for the second time, and you're not just a one-time wonder, right? You're there a second time 2 years later. But most importantly is how that moment happened, right? When you have 2 outs and nobody on, and you're down a run in the game at home with the chance to play for Omaha, and you fight, scratch, and claw to get bases loaded. And then Chris Taylor, who we all know the major league career that he's had so far, steps up and gets the game-winning hit, and the emotion of the moment for our fans. I have never ever felt a college stadium like that game, right?
I'm getting chills right now just thinking about it.
It was loud. People were going crazy. Our players ended up running around the field and slapping high fives with everybody in the outfield. You can see the emotion on their face. That's what it's about, right? It's about them competing together. It's about the moment that Chris Taylor has, And the fact that he has that memory, we all have that memory, but him individually has that memory of being on the spot and in the moment, having to deliver for his team. And the fact that he steps up and does it, that guy's going to have that for the rest of his life. And just, really one of the great moments in our program history.
Baseball, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Nothing like it. All right, I got to ask you, do you still got it?
Still do. Yeah. Still throw batting practice every day. I've went through some periods where I've had some knee issues here and there, and I'm recovered and over those. I love throwing every day, right? One, it helps keep me fit, but two, just an opportunity to get right there in the mix with our guys. Being a former pitcher, I like to compete a little bit, right? I don't in BP. I try to lay it in there, but naturally as a pitcher, I have some of that arm side run, some of that movement. Sometimes the hitters don't appreciate that, but I like to get out there every day, throw BP, do it as much as I can. Really, really enjoy it. So,
what was your go-to out pitch?
it was probably my slider, Matt. It was a pretty good pitch, but I had a really good two-seam running fastball, sinking fastball that I got a lot of ground balls on. So, I was able to have the ball go one direction in a two-seam sinker and then have the slider go the other direction. So the days that I didn't have my good sink, I was in trouble. I was pretty vulnerable, but I had those two pitches, had a split finger fastball, had a change up. So, but pretty much went after you the fastball and slider. I was a closer early on in my career. I was a closer on our college team, and then transitioned to a starter later on in my career.
I had to throw this one in there. I'm a big Cardinal fan, so I had to throw Ozzy in the mix.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I love Ozzy Smith. What a gentleman! What a first-class individual. As you know, we have these step up to the plate events that every year we bring in these great keynote speakers, and we get a chance to have about 1,000 people for dinner in the basketball arena, and Ozzy happened to be the speaker that night. And I tell you, he was great. He was fantastic, first class. Obviously, really, really incredible story. For those out there that don't know the Ozzy Smith story, I would encourage you to look it up on Wikipedia or something and read about how this guy became who he was as a player, and really, really motivating and special human being. I love Ozzy Smith.
This was a fun night for me because, there was some downtime after he did his media stuff. So I just sat in the room. It was me and Ozzy Smith and whoever was his, security guy. So I got to pick his brain for like 15 minutes. And as a Cardinal fan, like that was amazing. So good time.
Yeah, great time. He was first class and very humble and very genuine. It was truly honored to be there, and we loved having him.
All right, well let's talk Omaha. Special place
Okay.
for you, obviously, but just tell me what does Omaha mean to you?
Well, it's home for me. Actually, growing up in the area and then playing college baseball at Creighton. And so, anytime, and my wife's from the area as well. We're actually both from Council Bluffs, Iowa, right across the river from Omaha, but both went to Creighton in Omaha. So it's home, not this stadium, not Ameritrade, but I grew up in Rosenblatt Stadium, every year going to, College World Series games with my family, my two brothers, my parents. I was disappointed when we moved on from Rosenblatt, right? Feel so blessed and fortunate that we got a chance to take a UVA team to Rosenblatt in 2009. That said, we've played in Ameritrade 3 times now, and Ameritrade's great. It's a great location. It's a great fan experience, and I just love the people of Omaha. Really, they embody this championship. They wrap their arms around it. There's people in Omaha that take a week's off work so they can go to every game and tailgate and things. And it's just a really, really special event. And, I'm actually, hopefully going to get a chance at some point before we get back to school. I might get in a car and actually drive out there and see my parents a little bit. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I just love the just the vibe around the ballpark, and it's just a cool place to be. Just walking around town, it's awesome. And
It
then
is. It is. And, the last time we played on that field, Matt, as you know, there were fireworks going off and confetti and whatnot. So we got to get back there. That's the focus. That's the goal, is obviously to have a great experience, get better and all those kind of things. But the goal is Omaha, to get back there. And, the interesting thing about it, Matt, I don't know, maybe of another championship in NCAA athletics, but I don't think that there's another championship where everybody says the city where it's at every year, right? The basketball championship rotates, the football championship rotates, tennis, all these sports, lacrosse, they all rotate where the championship is. This is the one championship that everybody says Omaha. Everybody says that the town that it's in, right? So I just think that's a cool part of our championship.
And when you see this, like what does that just mean to you? That final moment when they all come together, like what is that to you?
Well, just certainly pride. Proud of what they were able to accomplish. Each team you have every year takes on its own identity and has its own challenges and high points and low points and has its own journey to whatever that is that year, whether it's a championship or however it ends for you. And that team, it was just so special because of what they losing the national championship game, the year before and then winning it all the next year and everything that they had to overcome. And that's been well documented. Right. But, and then to see that guy in the middle, right. Nathan Kirby, right. I talked about Chris Taylor earlier and him stepping up and getting that big clutch hit. Imagine if you're Nathan Kirby and, the year before, you're pitching the championship series and everything's going great and everything falls apart. And, I look at that picture and I think redemption, not against Vanderbilt. I'm talking about an individual person in Kirby that's standing on the mound for his team to win it all when the year before it didn't go so well. So just really, really proud of that group and proud of the program.
Yeah, I was when I was talking to Brandon Waddell about Omaha, I said, everybody asked me, like, is there one event you wish you could do again? And I said, I would love another shot at a national championship baseball game, because everything that could go wrong from a photographer standpoint for me in this game it was just a disaster for me. So I want to do over. So we need another trip to Omaha. Okay.
Well, we're working on that. I promise you that it'll certainly be in our future. And I want one as bad as you do, and you'll have that second chance for it. You will have learned then from the last time, and it'll be even better experience for you.
Yeah. So when you got the Gatorade bath, right?
Right.
The camera got a little soggy as well, and my autofocus on the lens stopped working. So the whole celebration, I'm shooting manual focus, which is not ideal for.
Right.
So that was definitely part of the wanting a do-over, but we still managed to get some good shots.
Yeah, yes, you did. I would say you sure did. I have many of them, that's for sure.
All right, what about now? Take me through when you get the Gatorade. Like, what is it? Just what's that feeling like? I mean, it's initial shock, and then.
Yeah, I don't know where this tradition all started, right? It's pretty crazy. The color in that picture is amazing, Matt. That's really cool and timely, certainly. But I don't know. It's another thing that you're proud of what has been accomplished, right? When you get a Gatorade bath, whoever it is, coach, player, or whatever, that means something great has been accomplished. And so that was certainly one of those moments, and then, I use the same belt all the time. Now you got to figure out on your leather belt, how do you get the sticky Gatorade off? But let me tell you, that's a problem I'll take any year. So certainly memorable. Chris Moore had his work cut out for him after that was dried on the uniform. So.
And I mean, what about this? I mean, your players lifting you on the shoulders. I mean, what does that mean to you? I mean, that's got to be a cool feeling.
Yeah, look at those guys, right? I mean, John Hicks, their number 8, Tyler Wilson, BK, Brandon Klein. I talked to him a couple of times over the last couple of weeks. He's doing great with the Orioles. You got, 3 essential big leaguers here. I don't know who's got me behind there. No idea. Maybe like a Proscia or, Jared King or somebody, I'm not sure. But, certainly very, very memorable and just again, proud, right? This, I've never really liked the whole, I'm not a huge fan of the Gatorade or lifting somebody up, because what should be done in this photo, Matt, is I should be lifting them up, right? I mean, they're the program. They take advantage of the opportunity. Myself and the other coaches and the staff members, we're just kind of like the architects that put them all together and help put them in the right places. They're the performers.
Yeah. It's like a time capsule too. And you see U-Haul in the background, the old video board.
Yeah, that's right. It is. Yeah,
it
sure
stuff.
is.
All right, I got a few more for you. I would be remiss if I didn't put this in the slideshow here.
Oh, yeah.
You knew it was coming. You knew it was.
Yeah, it was coming sooner or later. What very few people know about that is Joe Harden cheated, our softball coach, in this, right? And I continue to remind her of that, But it was fun. It's what is this? Is it Jimmy Kimball, or is it who started this? One of the late night television people started this thing, and so that's halftime of a UVA men's basketball game. This egg challenge where he's slapping. But boy, look at the photography work there. The yellow coming out there. Well done, my friend.
How did they talk you into this?
I don't know. I have no idea. Got the headband on. Oh, geez, not sure.
Now this is one of my favorite shots from Omaha. I had to go put the championship hat on you there.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
So,
yeah, I mean, everybody's heard the story behind this, that that individual supposedly is my likeness. It's involved my father and the work that he does in Omaha, and the sculptor that that did this. So, it's kind of a cool thing. Anytime you get a chance to go back there, take kids, someday take grandkids, and to be able to see it. It's just kind of that iconic, place that's out in front of Ameritrade, was out in front of Rosenblatt, and they moved it over. And so pretty special sculpture there. I actually have a picture of it in my office as well. So.
Yeah, so this is like 3 a.m. after I finished editing all the photos. I'm the last one out of the workroom. And I go out and I'm like, I'm going to throw the hat on the statue just for a shot. And as I'm climbing up there to do it, blue and red flashing lights. So the guys, get off there. The cops.
No way.
Yeah. So I was like, I explained to him what I was doing, and he was fine. He thought I was some drunk fan, but so he thought it was actually a really cool story.
That's great. So that's a good memory for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Time you almost went to jail, huh, Matt?
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's close this up. Just talk a little bit about the success of your former players and how they've excelled on the. I mean, look at these guys right here.
Yeah, special group there. Sean Doolittle was in our first recruiting class here when we first got here 17 years ago. Mark Reynolds and Ryan Zimmerman were here when we got here, and had all 3 of these gentlemen had great careers in our uniform, and have went on to have storied major league careers, and are not only terrific ambassadors of our program and our university, they're terrific ambassadors of the game, right? These guys respect the game. They play the game the right way. They're really engaged with what we do here in our baseball program. It just so happened to be that, we were up there in town, and, the Rockies were there, and got a chance to see all 3 of those guys at once. And just, really, really proud of those 3 accomplishments. But really, Matt, all of our guys, I saw Scott Fitzgerald, who does a great job in our media relations, put out a tweet not too long ago that we have 16 players on current 60-man rosters for the major leagues, through with the summer camps. And there's not another ACC program in the country, in our league, that has near that. And I just saw Bennett Sousa was added to the White Sox the other day too. So Matt, you know this, right? That our guys come here to the University of Virginia because first and foremost, they want to get a great education. Certainly that's offered to them here. Secondly, they want to win a championship. They want to win an ACC championship. They want to have a chance to go to Omaha. But thirdly, and really, really important, is every one of them aspires to play in the major leagues, right? So part of their time here, whether it's 3 or 4 years here, they're working and we're working with them to develop their skill set. So if it lines up, they have this opportunity to be in that press room in Washington, right? To play in the major leagues, to realize their dream. And it's a really, really important part of what we offer here. And so we're gonna be very, very proud of what those guys do at that level.
And Sean and his wife are must follows on Twitter too. They're
Oh, it's very entertaining. They put a lot of content out there. But you know what? All these guys. But I think about the two Nationals guys in this photo. You think about what Zimmerman and Doolittle do in their communities, right? To better their communities. Ryan's involvement in MS and Sean's involvement in literacy and so many other causes in the DC area. These guys are they're not just baseball players. They're impacting their communities. And so just really, really proud of who they are.
I got to throw this one. This is probably my favorite photo of you. And just, as a dad, I mean, it makes me emotional because I mean,
yeah,
just for me coming home from a trip and getting hugged from the kids, I can only imagine what winning a championship is like and the emotional journey that your family goes on, because you're gone a lot, and you're, just to be able to share that moment with them, and because they're in with the sacrifice with you. And,
yeah, Matt, I mean, you know what it's like. I mean, anybody that works in college athletics understands the commitment that it takes to be involved in college athletics. There's no punch in and punch out, right? There's not a clock. You just work, right? There's not an 8-hour day. And so, there's sacrifices that have to be made for that. And my kids understand those sacrifices, right? They understand that, there is so many wonderful things that come from those sacrifices. Certainly a championship's one of them. This picture is an acknowledgement, I believe, of, the sacrifices that are made and the understanding that a family has. But certainly joy and excitement. But my children, your children, anybody involved in college athletics, sure, there's sacrifices, but there's something, I believe, Matt, about working at a university, working at a great university, that your children get to grow up with idols. They get to grow up with people that not for my kids, not just in baseball, a basketball player, a tennis player, whatever it might be, that young people that are going to college, that are aspiring to be great at everything that they do, that are also making a difference. It's a great situation, great way to raise a family. And I love all those pictures. I actually have one of them right here from back on my desk from 2009 from the game in Rosenblatt. So
awesome.
Pretty cool.
All right, let's close it out here. Let's give me your University of Virginia, what it's all about. Like,
oh geez. I've been really fortunate to work at a couple of pretty special places. This one is at the top, the University of Virginia. When I came here 32 years ago, and I was having multiple conversations with Craig Littlepage about the opportunity here at the university, I just thought that really, and this would speak for a recruit considering coming here as well, is I just thought it was one of those rare special opportunities out there, Matt, that you could work at a place or a young person could come here and get one of the best educations they can get in America. They can live in a really cool historic spot in our country's history. They can play in a baseball conference that rivals the best baseball conference in the country, where every weekend you're going to be challenged out on the field, to being at a place that has a facility and amenities and support for the student athletes so they can realize their dreams, whatever that is, right? If it's to play in the major leagues, or if it's to be a doctor or an attorney or a baseball coach, whatever it is, they can realize those opportunities here. And so we're just fortunate. It's a great community with a lot of support, a very committed university to athletics, a very committed athletic administration to what our mission is. And, that picture right there, right? Yeah. A lot of teams, a lot of coaches, a lot of players, a lot of them, most of them never have that opportunity. And to see the smiles on their faces of Matt Theis, Connor Jones, Thomas Woodruff, Kenny Towns, right? Joe McCarthy, Jack Roberts, different guys that, the joy, the sacrifice, the commitment that they make, and the opportunity, Matt, that they have here is really, really special, and we're fortunate.
All right. Well, I know you got another meeting to run to, and give Coach Bennett a sales pitch here to have him join me.
I'll give him a call. This is a pretty cool opportunity, and I appreciate it. I know there's probably some of those pictures that we didn't get to, but I saw a few of them on the left-hand side here. But these pictures, they tell a story. They do, and I appreciate you, Matt. I appreciate what you do. At some point I don't think anybody does photo albums anymore, right? Everything's virtual albums, but
right.
I want to make sure that I have all these for sure. And I appreciate you having me on.
That's what you need. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but thanks for doing this. It's been fun. It's got a lot of good feedback on social media, and it's been fun catching up with former players. You're my first head coach, so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I've been fortunate enough to have all these memories and be at a great place to do all this stuff. So. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Appreciate what you do, and thanks for having me on. And it was a fun little stroll down memory lane here.